Say, baby, what's your opinion on fairy-esque characters suddenly gaining human forms? Yeah, you're right. That kind of stuff is better left in the hands of the fans and their artwork. Though wait, what does that mean for you? But yeah, this is an episode where one of the minor fairy characters gains a human form. And I gotta say, right off the bat, I am not a fan of Pecorine's human form. I don't think it's necessarily bad, just not very well designed in my opinion. And it's odd because most of the humanized fairies have pretty good designs. The few exceptions to this seem to be the little girl designs not from Ohotsukai. Mofarun has and always will be the best. I don't know, between Pafu and Pecorine, they just kind of look off to me. I think it mostly has to do with that face and just how it doesn't really work on a human. It'd be like putting Bebe's face on Nagisa's body. That would never... Okay, you know what? That actually kind of works out. Though only because it's you. Still, you get the idea. It kind of produces a sort of uncanny valley aesthetic. Not helped by the fact that Pecorine's hair design emphasizes her large forehead. I'm half expecting that thing to turn into a deadly weapon. Bottom line, I'm just glad this was a one episode thing. If you have your own opinion, feel free to comment below, but for now, let's just get right into the episode proper. After offhandedly wishing that she could improve her cooking skills, the spirit of Lumiere just decides to give Pecorine a helping hand by granting her a human form. Oh, how nice of her, granting the wish of some minor side character rather than giving the Precure some necessary power-ups, or more importantly, reviving Julia already, damn it! Anyway, with her new human form, she immediately wanted to take it out for a test drive by going grocery shopping by herself. Sadako Hosho. Now that is a design they could have borrowed from when creating Pecorine's human form. Anyway, Pecorine goes to the market while being watched by the Precure as though they were her parents or something. She plays with a baby at one point, almost blows her cover, loses her wallet, finds it, brings back the groceries. Yeah, if it sounds like I'm rushing through the first half of this episode, it's only because I am. The interesting stuff is actually in the second half. For as it turns out, someone else was going out for a little bit of a test drive. And using his new decked out ride, Grave steals Kirakira, doesn't darken it, we're past that plot point thankfully, from Pecorine's fairy and animal friends while they were trying to enjoy her sweets. From there, he has a pretty darn good fight with the Precure, in no small part thanks to the fact that he fights them with his car. Seriously, despite being powered by an absolute failure of a villain, Grave is able to make it work by essentially giving his car demonic shadow arms. It does unfortunately end a little anticlimactically when Pecorine steps in and somehow is able to counter Grave's attacks by using all of her Kirakira at once, even though she's never been shown to be capable of doing such. To me, this whole scene doesn't come off nearly as dramatic as I think they were trying to build it up as. Still, thanks to her, the Precure are able to stun Grave using hula hoops, cause why not? And they deliver their finisher. Grave retreats, but is far from completely defeated. The episode ends with the team learning that Pecorine ended up sacrificing her ability to transform into a human, even though again, I don't think it's that big a deal. As from what we've seen from this and previous seasons, Pecorine should be capable of reacquiring a human form on her own. All Lumiere did was essentially speed up the process. More importantly though, it looks like she took some of my advice from earlier to heart. While the first half of the episode was kind of a drag, I do have to admit, things picked up in the second half thanks to Grave's awesome new ride, as well as hyping things up for next week's episode. I think the biggest problem with the first half was a serious lack of any real conflict or interesting set pieces. I mean really, what did turning Pecorine into a human add? She was already a capable baker in spite of lacking opposable thumbs, and was dead set on being on equal grounds with the Precure, so it's not as though she really needed this like say Aroma did for his fairy exams. Her human design was unappealing, and Pecorine herself is just not that much of an interesting character in my opinion. She's not as bad as other characters who will go unnamed, but overall she just hasn't really contributed that much to this show. Still, all of that was kind of made up for thanks to Grave and his demon card, showing off how you pull off an intimidating villain. Hell, even in defeat, he still had 1,000 times more dignity than Wolf Boy. Really looking forward to what he does next week and how the Precure will fight back. If you haven't seen it yet, I recently posted up the first half of my review for the manga adaptation of this series. It takes the concepts of the show and in many ways improves them, and at least there, Precure is able to help out without the use of any Deus Ex Machinas. Second part should be out soon. In the meantime though, I am very sorry to say that my cooking video for Xiao's pumpkin pudding isn't happening, at least not this year. I swear, I tried, but it was a disaster. I think part of it had to do with the low quality kabocha I was stuck with. Maybe I'll tackle this recipe again next year, but after such a nightmare, I'm not gonna touch any type of squash for at least the next few months. I will, however, still post up my custom cooking video on Halloween Day. That is a recipe I'm actually rather proud of, especially considering recent events. Look forward to it, and until then though, farewell for now my friends, and... Baby, are you trying to snack before dinner again? No, don't you lie at me, little missy.